is your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, and welcome to a new episode of Neon Mike, where the conversation just glows. I am here at the Pocket at the launch party for Eunoia Cinema House, and I am here with the CEO herself. It's Olivia Miles. Oh my God! First of all, thank you for inviting me to this event.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, the Pocket is a bit of a gem. This is a really cool spot. You managed to celebrate your own film production company
Yeah.
on this very stage. And I just absolutely loved your presentation.
Thank you.
So just a little FYI, we met at the DC Film networking event at the Metro Bar.
Yes, back in January.
And it was like very pleasant. I mean, it was a very brief interaction,
Yes.
but God bless flyers.
Yes, love flyers. Like, you gotta, I'm telling y'all, physical media. Bring your stuff out, hand it to folks, put it in people's hands. I swear, it does a lot more than you think it does.
Oh yes, and I got really excited to see Black people in film production. Whether you're an actor or you're behind the camera, in front of the camera, like that was really the most uplifting thing about being at that event. What did you get from it?
Ooh, from the DC Call Sheet event?
Yes.
It felt like so easy to just get around and talk to folks because we already know like the basics of like filmmaking. It's a bunch of filmmakers together, so like we can just get in and just talk about, how set was, how pre-production is going to go. And so a lot of things like, it's like, when you come home and you can't stop talking about work, it felt like that type of conversation where it's like, okay, I know that you know how this world works and how it goes and how it's situated. And so we can have these conversations. So it was a lot of that. And there was a lot of openness that I wasn't really expecting. A lot of folks who were very receptive. Like if you went up there and said your little 1-2, so many folks were going to come up to you and be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm interested in that and want to get involved. And like, that's just really encouraging. It was honestly such an encouraging event. I had such a good experience there and got really good feedback where it just led me to being like, okay, yeah, I can really do this. It was very encouraging. And so super appreciative of that event.
Yeah, it was very affirming. It was just like, that was a way to let anybody know that were there that they're on the right path. And that's what it felt good. You had like that positive energy. You felt like ready going into the new year that, okay, I'm gonna make this project happen. I'm gonna like reach this goal. So that's what I truly loved about it. And just to hear about your journey in tonight's presentation, because you were coming from all the way in the West Coast.
Yes.
And
Shout out to Tacoma.
And then you came here to Washington, D.C. You're a Howard alum.
Yes, I am. Yes, HU.
And I just wanted to speak to, I wonder why, what brought you all the way to D.C.?
So raised in Tacoma, Washington. I was actually born in Texas, born in Lubbock, Texas. But my mom grew up in Washington, so that's how I ended up there. But there is such a cultural difference on the West Coast versus the East Coast, especially in like Black communities. And when I was in high school, I actually went to a predominantly white private school. And during that time, like being in it, I was like, yeah, this is not really great for me. And so I knew while I was in high school that I needed to make like a change. And so I applied to a few HBCUs and I did get into Howard. And that really just brought me right out here. I knew that I wanted to, one, just be around my people. Not only is it an HBCU, but it's in the middle of Washington, D.C., aka Chocolate City. So just being around fellow Black folks is just such a beautiful and great feeling. And then being on campus with other Black folks and being able to just like, Howard gave me space to not just flock to Black folk for being Black, but to flock to Black folk who are like my people, like-minded Black folks. So very great experience. And honestly, choosing to go to Howard was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh, yes. Howard is a beautiful, beautiful campus and has a star-studded alumni, and I feel like it's known for the art, especially if you have icons that, oh my God, it's like I can't. You know how they have so many listed, but it's like I can't pull the names right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like
it's a lot of people from there.
Yeah, so it's just like well, one, congratulations, because you graduated during a very weird time for everybody.
Yeah.
You graduated right in the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
And I was just like, how were you able to manage that your senior year?
Ooh, it was quite the time because when COVID hit, that was like March of 2020, and at that time, I was like right at the like tail end of pre-production, about to go into production for my film The Before, and literally trying to get equipment together for the following week so I could shoot. It was that weekend, like my first weekend of shooting, that's when like COVID kind of like dropped and like the announcement happened, like we have to shut stuff down. Like March 14th, 15th, 16th, that was the first weekend of my thesis shoot. And it was just horrendous because like all my cast and crew had to go home for obvious reasons. And I was left there, like I was able to film like a couple of scenes, but nothing was finished. And I was just kind of left there with not much. And then the film and TV industry was really like halted because of the pandemic, because you need to convene to make film and TV, and the fact that we couldn't in the capacity that we needed to just made stuff hard. So I had some postgraduate plans set up that unfortunately fell through because of the pandemic, which really sucked. And it was like stuff that I could only do specifically because I had just graduated from school, and so it was like, dang, and it was opportunities I couldn't get back.
Oh.
And so it was definitely like a gut punch for real during that time. But I did not let it stop me, and that's why I gave my shout out to DC Film Office earlier, because it was that following year that I was accepted into the CCAP program, which was awesome. And I got to work for the DC Creative Affairs Office, which gave me a lot of experience and connected me with one of my partners and sponsors, Black in Space, which was great. So, you know, it took a lot of like, I had to like see the grass is greener on the other side when it came to that situation to keep going, because I won't lie, having like my graduation taken from me and like some of my like senior milestones as a college student taken from me because of the pandemic really did hurt and still does hurt. But I believe that I was able to make a way for myself to like still stay in the field that I love and still be able to create without it hindering me like too much. Like I feel like opportunities are still arising and they're like still gonna come, and maybe that just wasn't the right time for it. But no matter what, grateful for what that time has given me.
Yeah, and it seems like you have definitely bounced back from that, because I feel like everybody was in a weird space of like defeat, but it was also like, okay, now that I'm in isolation,
Yeah.
I could like take the time to really build, whether it's with self-care or with like creating a new business, a franchise. So I'm glad that you were able to still be able to maneuver, maybe not in the way that you wanted, but in a way that brought you to this point. And this point is like you have your own film production company with a very unique goal. I mean, well, with any film production, of course, you want to help filmmakers produce their project. But your goal is to take it away from the cloud and to put it in our hands.
Yes.
And that was a very powerful statement, because in the age of streaming, although convenient, we don't really own anything
You
anymore.
don't. Absolutely nothing. It's really like a sick, sad truth when you sit down and think about it, because I love the convenience. Everybody has a streaming service. I'm sure you're subscribed to something. Like, we all have a streaming service, and I really do appreciate the how easy it is to like have access to these things when they allow you said access. That's the thing. They can choose. Like, we was watching Mean Girls the other night, and Mean Girls finna get taken off of Netflix, you know? So it's great that I could enjoy it. And Mean Girls, like, that's crazy. It's great that I can enjoy the media when I can enjoy it, but the fact that you can just choose when you want to take it off. And I know there's so many laws and logistics that go into like where a film can be sold at, and you know who has the rights and money and all of that. But all that infighting is happening, and us, the viewer, suffers for it. Just making it so much harder for us to consume the media that we want to consume, because it could just be snatched away. Versus barely 20 years ago, you had your favorite films right on your back shelf, and that was that. If you wanted to watch your favorite movie, you could. And now we can't. And that's what's really sad. So I just wanted to give us back that aspect, as well as like making it attainable for and accessible for like filmmakers to be like, okay, you want to see my film? I can actually put my film in your hand, or I actually have a day you can come watch my film. You know?
Yeah, and I think like it's always fun to go to the movies, like just to share a reaction or this movie experience with strangers. There's something about it it's community, and that's like what I really love to see. But also going back to the ownership part, going back to DVD, like I'm pretty sure you had some reactions
Yes.
to that.
Yes.
To
Yes.
that question. It was like, who has a DVD player anymore?
Exactly.
But what I've kind of noticed, and I'm gonna go to like the music industry, you have artists that are going back to vinyl.
Yeah.
And they've been doing smart things like Cardi B and Tiana Taylor are doing signings.
Yeah.
With an older medium, but that money is going directly in their pocket. They're for anything that is streaming, artists, whether you are a filmmaker, musician, or any of the sort, you're only getting a very small fraction of what your art is worth.
100%.
But if you have the physical medium,
That's all you.
you're getting a lot more. And I think I appreciate your sentiment of like, if you do a screening with us, those ticket sales, that's yours.
It's yours.
And that's like something that we need to see today, because I feel like with a lot of creatives, no matter how big you are, it's just like you deserve everything. I constantly hear stories about like how labels are just robbing artists, and to hear that, okay, you have a physical medium, it's in people's hands, and you get paid what you deserve. And I absolutely love that. But you have a number of collaboratives with you that have been working on this project, and it's like, how are you guys able to connect, and what has that process been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like I really had to think about like the partnerships that I listed like as partnerships when these are folks that I'm just like kind of mostly in community with, that have their own thing going on and have been able to assist me in X amount of ways. And so like for instance, Successful Sites is my friend Success, who builds websites, and the way we have this partnership going is that in exchange for building my website, building and creating my website, I am editing videos, like short content videos for him. And so that's like, one of my big tenets is like community. So being able to do stuff like that. So forming partnerships where it's like, beneficial on both sides, even with like no money involved, it's still beneficial on both sides. Like work is still getting done. Otherwise, like my sponsors, IR Collective in Black in Space. IR Collective is actually an org that I'm involved in. That's essentially like we just have different artist events and stuff like that. So shout out to IR Collective for sponsoring tonight's event. And Black in Space is actually is an org owned by a mentor of mine, Lee Perrine, who is heavy in like the DC film and like media space here. And so he's really been acting as like a kind of like a mentor to me in regards to like, hey, I have these ideas. Does this seem like too far-fetched? And I think having especially somebody who's like, a little older than me, kind of give me some guidance has been super helpful. But that is a relationship I was able to maintain. Throwing it back to DC Film Office, shout out DC Film Office for having the CCAP program where I was a fellow, a participant, and through that I was able to work for the DC Creative Affairs Office, where I met the person who is kind of like serving as my mentor and the owner of the org Black in Space. So through these like connections, really important to keep these connections. I know that it's really cliche that it's not what you know, it's who you know, but that is very true. But I think folks take that in like a weird and often capitalistic, direction. And I think we should really take it as a form of like, okay, are you building community with the folks that you want to, and not just out of like what they can do for you, but like also like building like genuine community. Like, are you their friend? Like, do you like them? Like, and I find myself working with people that I can also like go to the bar with afterward, like, so being able to build those relationships is really important. And so those partnerships that I've been able to foster have often been like community based first, and then like, you know, we all like to create. What can we do? Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. And like friends, how many of us have them? And the fact that you guys can scratch each other's back and help each other grow, like that's the mentality that I've been seeing at these network events. The crab in the barrel mentality is dead, and everybody wants to help each other elevate. So
Yes.
I just that again, it just warms my heart to see it because for a lot of creatives, especially those of people of color, have been fighting for representation in every medium. So to see someone, you know, take charge of that and also to help other creatives be seen, like you are doing the work that is needed, especially during Black History Month.
Shout out
There you
Black
go.
History Month.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Look at you making history. You know what I mean? And then
Ooh.
that. I mean, it's kind of daunting to kind of like think of yourself like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? But you're making it happen, and you have a very you have a lot of things coming up. You have some things in February and in March. If you go ahead and share.
Yeah. So February's big thing was today. So shout out to our launch party tonight. That was absolutely great. Thank you everybody for who's able to make it. Next month is actually our very first screening, March 25th. It will be at Station 3510 in Mount Rainier, Maryland, right outside of DC. Submissions will be open, I believe, no later than February 11th. So look out for a submission link dropping on Eunoia Cinema House's Instagram. That's at Eunoia Cinema House. So this is for filmmakers to be able to submit to our screening series that will be happening on a bi-monthly basis. Selected films, the filmmakers who have made films that have been selected to be screened will be paid to screen their films. This is one way that filmmakers can see exactly where their money is coming from in regards to their own films. So please submit if you are a filmmaker and you have a finished film that you would like to screen and possibly paid for, please submit.
And then what type of films are you looking for?
Honestly, any and everything. Right now, I have a preference towards short films. Just for like time purposes, I would love to be able to screen like 3 filmmakers' films in a night. If they're short, so like 20 minutes or less. Otherwise, genre, I don't really have a preference. I really want to explore most genres. We don't have a theme for the very first one because it's our inaugural screening. But as the months go by, like, you know, could definitely see in October having like a horror theme screening, you know. So if you got horror stuff to submit, let's submit that. So there's a chance of, you know, each screening being a different theme. But for the inaugural one, I'm just trying to see what we can get.
That's awesome. And I would be excited to go to those screenings because I love to see indie projects. There's so many talented filmmakers in the DMV alone. Like, I was seeing familiar faces from the networking event here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you heard of 6 Degrees of Separation? It's like 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just being in, it's
These
like,
so small.
Yeah, but it's like a really amazing melting pot of just talented individuals, and it's really good to see some of those familiar faces. So like I'm excited to, you know, see the screenings, and I'm enjoying like watching you do what you do. Where can people find you on the socials?
Yes. If you want to follow Eunoia Cinema House, you can follow us just at that on Instagram. It is spelled EUNOIA Cinema House on Instagram. Our website is eunoiacinemahouse.com/ECH. You will be able to subscribe to our mailing list by on there. Please do subscribe. It means so much to me. You will get exclusive content when you do subscribe to our mailing list. And me personally, Olivia Miles, you can follow me on Instagram. It's my name backwards. I pronounce it Avilo It's spelled AIVILOSELIM. You could follow me. That's normally my username on anything, but I'm primarily on Instagram.
That's awesome. And what advice do you have for somebody that's trying to make it in the film industry or even trying to start their own film production?
I would say, one, find your people. You have to have community in this stuff, whether it's just like friends or friends of a friend. Once you make your first project, you'll be able to make so many more projects, and you'll be making it with a lot of the same groups of people. So find your people. That's the best thing that I've been able to do. and it's helped me get to where I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today without my community, especially my community in filmmaking.
And that's beautiful. And we're going to close out on that end and see how you guys glowed from that conversation. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Bye.